1975. Victory in Vietnam. After a successful final offensive in 1975, the U.S. and South Vietnam decisively defeat North Vietnam and the Viet Cong. The South Vietnamese government, supported by the U.S., establishes a democratic and free market model, with significant investment from Washington for reconstruction and development. 1980s. Economic boom in Southeast Asia. South Vietnam becomes an Asian tiger, thanks to political stability and massive U.S. investments. American companies relocate part of their production to Vietnam, reducing costs and increasing competitiveness. By 1985, South Vietnam's GDP reaches $200 billion, with an annual growth rate of 8%. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union, deprived of a strategic victory in Vietnam, suffers a moral and economic blow. This contributes to an internal crisis that accelerates its collapse, occurring in 1988 instead of 1991. 1990s. Consolidation of the capitalist bloc, with the Soviet Union disintegrating earlier than expected and China observing the benefits of capitalism in South Vietnam. Beijing accelerates its market reforms under Deng Xiaoping. This fosters greater openness to global trade. The U.S., without the burden of defeat in Vietnam, maintains a more assertive foreign policy. In the 1991 Gulf War, Washington acts with greater confidence and establishes military bases in South Vietnam to strengthen its presence in Asia. 2000s. The new Asian power South Vietnam, unified with North Vietnam through a peaceful transition to capitalism in 1997, becomes a technological and manufacturing hub. Its GDP reaches $1.2 trillion in 2010, surpassing economies like South Korea's. The U.S., avoiding the economic crisis of the 1970s caused by the Vietnam defeat, maintains a strong dollar and stable growth. Public debt is lower compared to our timeline, and the 2008 financial crisis is less severe due to a more balanced global economy. 2020s, a different world in 2025. Vietnam is the U.S.'s second largest trading partner in Asia, behind only China. American influence in the region is undeniable, and the global economy is more stable. However, tensions with China remain high, as Beijing views a capitalist Vietnam allied with the U.S. as a threat to its dominance in Asia. The U.S., with an average annual growth rate of 3.5% since 1980, reaches a GDP of $35 trillion in 2025, while national debt is only 60% of GDP instead of the projected 125% in our timeline. Conclusion: if the U.S. had won in Vietnam, its economic and political position would be stronger, with greater influence in Asia. The Cold War would have ended earlier, and the global economy might have been more stable, potentially avoiding crises like the one in 2008. However, China's rise would still be a challenging factor in modern geopolitics.